Hello and welcome back to the channel and to this build of the Gwillows Chipmunk. Got the box here somewhere, so you can see it. That's the box, that's the Chipmunk. It's silver and black, so I'm making it red and black. Just because it has some repetition, I think it would also look good up in the air if it ever gets to fly. I showed you the fuselage last time. I have put on some wooden braces and some screws and fixing the cowling, so I'm hoping that is okay. It's a little bit tilted to the right, which it's a mistake, but I think it's a fortunate mistake because it anyhow needs to be pointing somehow to the right and down, and I think it looks okayish. For this chapter what I'm going to be doing is building the surfaces. So I've started to build the elevator, the stabilizer actually. It is made up mostly out of the 1/16 inch or 1.5 millimeter wood. This is the wood that basically I cut out strips out of it, and I basically build up the structure. There are some bits like the wing tips, or in this case the stabilizer tips, that are already shaped and cut, and some little other pieces, but it's mostly made up of this kind of wood. I've done this one already. What I'll do now, I'll put tissue on it, and I'm a bit worried about the tissue if I shrink it and it warps because it's really very thin. But I'll do the tissue, then I'll do the rudder, and then I'll go on to the wings, and then gradually also put tissue on them so that I don't have a lot of tissue to put on at the end. So let's see how this goes along. So time to show the progress. I've put the tissue on the tail plane and on the fin, and my big worry was getting it warped, so I did put it on, and then I shrank it with water, and then I pinned it down using a lot of pins to the board, to the foam board that I use, and I think at least the tail plane seems to be quite straight. I'm not worried about putting water on it again, that it might shrink even more and then get warped, so I might just use the clear lacquer with some coats on it. Let's see. I mean, if it gets damaged, then it's not too difficult to redo, and the pieces, I think I can get them out of the plan, because not all the pieces are on the plan, which is maybe also a weakness. For the tail fin, didn't go exactly so well. There's a bit of a wrinkle there, sometimes it happens to me, and then also on the other side, and I have the feeling it is slightly warped, but I don't know if it's the construction or the tissue. So let's see. Again, it's very very thin. It's like 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter wood, so it is really thin. And then what I've been doing, because I don't always like to do the tissue covering, I've been building up the wing. I started with the right wing for no particular reason, and I've built it up. It's true, or just the point that the ribs, they don't have the notches for the stringers that go across the wing, so I have to draw on them and then file them out. That's something also that with the laser cut models it's much easier and much tighter, because when I file it out with a needle nose file, and I'm not so exact, so it's not so perfect, but and it takes more time, but I mean I'm not in a hurry, right? So I glued it earlier today, and I hope that all the glue has set, and my aim is at some point to take it off, and maybe to test it also with the fuselage. Let's see what it would look like, and let's see if I pull it up and I don't damage anything, because even if I put the plastic, it does stick a little bit to the plastic. So I try to put the ruler underneath there, and that is the right wing. A good structure, or another way of making the dihedral, it has this piece here. I don't know if you can see it. It says here bottom, and this gives the angle for the root rib, which is also a good way. Like I always struggle with having precise dihedrals, and I think this probably gives it a relatively good and precise dihedral, so that's positive. If I bring the fuselage now, in theory I might need to file this down a little bit, but in theory this should now fit somehow in here, and I'm not sure where, so I've got to figure that out. Maybe with the plan also make the holes a bit bigger to see how I can put it in, and basically then assemble it. But before that, well, I'll file it down, I'll sand it down, and maybe I'll do also the undercarriage. I'll put the tissue on it, and only then I'll have to do the real figuring out of where it goes into the fuselage, which is somewhere here. there's a hole here, there's a hole here, and I can't find a hole in the front, which is I don't know why, but anyhow it'll go somehow like this, so this would be kind of the size. So it's coming together. So I'll do more of the wing construction. I'll probably go to the other side while I figure out what to do also with the left side and also the landing gear parts. Time to update. I've got the wings, and I'll explain to you a little bit of a boo-boo that I made, but somehow that is how the wings would actually go. I was using a lot of the wooden strips, and now the boo-boo that I made, because I made first of all the right wing. Let's see if I can take it out without damaging it. And the lower spar is just a 1/16th piece of balsa. I didn't realize, and I realized when I did the other side of the other wing, on the other side of the plan, that it should have been actually a wider piece. So again, let's see if I take it out without breaking it. So I don't know if you can see it, but there is a slight difference in the spars of the wing. When I realized, I was thinking of just doing it again with a narrow spar, maybe to save weight. I did weigh both wings separately. The difference is 0.16 grams, which is nothing. On the other hand, this one will be probably much stiffer, much safer, so when it crashes, and it will crash, then this wing has more chances of surviving than this one, and that is a bit of the worry. But anyhow, I'm not going to retrofit it or make it new again unless something really goes wrong with it. I'll leave it as it is, and it's starting to get into shape. So next step is to put the tissue. I'm thinking also of doing the tissue without doing the inner bay, because that I'll need probably to pushing and to glue it to the fuselage with some force. But at least the outside I want to put the tissue on, and then I'll show you what I have when I have the tissue on at least. Time to wrap up this video, and let me show you all the components. So the fuselage, you already know, you had it before. The tail surfaces, I shrunk them with water, and then I pinned them down to the board so that they wouldn't warp. And then instead of painting it with water and glue, which is what I normally do, I put some coats of clear lacquer with a spray, and I'm hoping that it doesn't warp anymore, and that it somehow protected also against humidity, because if it's humid, then of course then the tissue will get all soft and even tear if it gets hit by something. The tail fin, it's got some wrinkles in there, not too happy about those, but it is what it is. This other side a little bit better, and then eventually then it will come here on the back. With the wings, what I did with the wings, I'm not going to touch the other wing because it's still drying from the clear lacquer. I put first of all the lower side, the lower tissue, and this one worked out nicely. I don't know if you can see, there are some marks here. That's from the glue, when I was gluing it with the water and glue. So I have to be more careful about that because that stays there. But I left the inner bay open so that when I stick it into the fuselage and glue it, that I have something to press against, like to push against, not just on the tip of the wing. So my plan is that once I glue it all together, then put on the last, let's say the last panel of tissue on both wings, because it's the underside of the wing. I did it on the bottom part so that if seen from the top, then it looks nice. If seen from the bottom, I think it'll still look nice, but then the top is at least one single sheet. I'm thinking overall it went okay. So it's actually 3 pieces. It's the bottom, the top, and also then the wing tip. I did it separately because I know by experience that it's not good to use it. It's very hard. Maybe it's possible, but it's very hard. And overall, some wrinkles here and there. I think this other wing has even more wrinkles. I don't know if you can see them, depends on the light. But overall, I think I'm fine with it. It's probably one of the best tissue coverings that I've done. So as I say, the components are pretty much complete, and then the next chapter will be about getting everything together and some more of the details. In any case, as always, thank you everybody for watching, for following along and for commenting on this, and I'll see you next time.